In this follow-up video to the Jonbenet special that I did on December 26, I'm going to point out some information of interest in Detective Arndt's 19-page supplemental report dated January 8, 1997. First, I'm going to read or discuss parts of the report that talk about the entry into the house that night. French told me there was no apparent forced entry to the Ramsey home. The sergeant said there was a light dusting of snow on the ground when he arrived at the Ramsey residence. He did not notice any footprints or any other tracks in the snow. He personally checked the exterior of the Ramsey residence. He did not notice any signs of forced entry to the residence. Officer Weiss told me that there had been frost on the patio when the officers had arrived. The frost had not been disturbed. Patsy did tell me that she believed the house had been locked when she and the rest of the family went to bed. John told me that he personally checked all of the doors and all of the windows in the home this morning. All of the doors and windows were locked. Patsy, being tired or exhausted, even though she had had 7.5 hours of sleep the night before, according to her. Patsy spoke softly when she talked to me. At times, Patsy seemed to be staring off into the distance. Patsy seemed to have a vacant look and seemed dazed. While I was talking to Patsy, she would repeatedly start crying. Patsy would be unable to speak. Patsy looked physically exhausted. When I talked briefly with John during the morning of December 26, he was able to carry on a conversation, articulate his words. He had smiled, joked, and seemed focused during the conversation. Patsy seemed to be much less focused when I spoke with her. Patsy seemed to have a far-off look in her expression. Patsy's thoughts were scattered, and it was difficult to get her to stay focused. Officer French told me that when he arrived, he met with Patsy Ramsey, Jonbenet's mother. Patsy was very upset and distraught, and it was difficult for French to obtain information from her. French also spoke with John Ramsey, Jonbenet's father. Jonbenet was dead for over 12 hours. Jonbenet appeared to have been dead for a period of time. I touched Jonbenet's neck in an attempt to locate any sign that she was alive. Jonbenet's skin was cool to the touch. My face was within inches of Jonbenet's face. I detected an odor of decay. There were no coverings on Jonbenet's feet. Jonbenet's feet appeared to be white, for example, drained of color. I did not notice any marks to her feet. Patsy read the ransom note, then she ran to Jonbenet's bedroom. After Patsy looked at the note and read it, she ran to Jonbenet's bedroom. Jonbenet was missing. This is what Patsy said to the police initially. Later in an interview, she reversed the events. But I think this is the correct order. This concludes this follow-up, and I'm going to have a follow-up to this follow-up next.